Good afternoon, everybody. It's Stephen Paul from WinExtra back with your daily brief for December 20th. 5 days to go, buddy.
5 days to go to the big eruption of food and presents. And
crazy kids all over the house.
Kids all over the house and screaming and roaring. And,
yeah.
Mommy, 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 he took my presents.
Yes.
You know the child's name tag, whatnot.
Before we get started, I want to make one little bit of a business announcement. Effective starting today, you'll be able to catch the daily brief both as a video version and a audio version. The audio version will be downloadable through iTunes account you can subscribe to. The video will be found at what? We've got
YouTube.com/WinExtra and WinExtra.TV if you just like to drop along and watch it. And also, you know, as Stephen mentioned, just search for us on YouTube, on iTunes. It's WinExtra, and of course you can always just drop along to the actual WinExtra site and hit the RSS subscribe button there as well. You'll be able to pick us up in whatever podcast catcher you feel like.
Yes. Now for the news, we've got. Okay, this will start this one off with a doozy. Apparently, Nokia is in talks with Microsoft about Windows Phone devices.
And this is good news. This is something we talked about, oh God, many, many months ago. And we said, you know, these would be a good suit for each other. Yeah. You know, Nokia makes good handsets, but has trouble on the software side. Microsoft is, of course, looking for as many carriers as possible to... as many handset manufacturers as possible to carry Windows Phone 7 on. Nokia especially is looking for a foot in the door in the US. Yeah. They have great sales all over the world, but they just can't seem to get their foot into the US market, and this might help them out there. And of course, from Microsoft's point of view, again, as we said, Nokia makes great handsets. Windows Phone 7 is a great operating system, so it's a good pair. And Nokia has massive distribution channels into pretty much every carrier globally.
But then we have this Doofus comment or headline from over GigaOM. Nokia and Microsoft looked like a desperate hookup.
Well, it is kind of a little bit desperate for Nokia in some respects. When you consider that the N8 has been delayed, Symbian 3 operating system for Nokia has been pretty much pulled at this point. I mean, it's been delayed. As you informed me pre-show, they've laid off 700-800 employees who were supposedly working on Symbian. And, you know, then we have Nokia's past comments about Android and, you know, how they wouldn't want to go down that route. And I can understand why they wouldn't want to go down that route. It's not necessarily desperation when you consider Nokia's sales. Yes, their sales are slipping, but their market share worldwide is phenomenal. This isn't a desperate move for them.
Yeah.
I think all in all, it's a good sense move in every direction for every party involved. Okay, I mean, just because Nokia does some Windows Phone 7 handsets doesn't mean that they don't have to do that they can't do Symbian handsets as well.
Yeah. I guess the headline just really struck me wrong. Like it pissed me off is what it did, because it's the automatic assumption that because Nokia is having a few problems with their Symbian system or whatever, and they've now got this new Stephen Elop who used to be with Microsoft is now their CEO, and it's like nobody's giving Windows Phone 7 much credit right now in the marketplace because we got another story.
Your fanboy hairs are getting brushed in the wrong direction.
Get out the hand. It's got nothing to do with being a fanboy. It's being fair reporting.
It is about fair reporting, and one thing that most reporters seem to miss when they discuss this market is the fact that the smartphone market is incredibly young. Yep. They all seem to think that because you've got dominant players, Apple and Android, and that seems to mean that this market is wrapped up and there's no room for anybody else. My hairy butt, there's no room for anybody else. You know what I mean? This is a very young market. It's a growing market. There's phenomenal room for it to grow, and this market is going to be growing for the next decade.
Yeah.
There's a lot, and beyond. There's lots of time for lots of players to come into the market. And, you know, we're going to see players. We're going to see the rise and fall.
Yeah.
Even Rome fell.
One area where we're looking to see, I guess, some more improvement is with Microsoft Kinect.
This is again on the updates
Yeah.
front, a rumored update. But it does look like Microsoft is going to release an update to Kinect to improve accuracy and performance and tracking. Basically, what they want to do is improve the resolution of the device so that it can detect more stuff.
Well,
right now, it's go on.
Well, the current limitations, according to Ars Technica, the current limitations of the device has a resolution of 320 by 240. The rumored update would increase this to 640 by 480.
Yeah, but it's also about transferring how much data can be transferred from Kinect to the Xbox over USB. And the problem is that so far they've been limiting it to 15 to 16 megs so that other USB devices could run on Xbox at the same time, because the Xbox has 2 USB slots. But apparently Microsoft has found a way that they can have both of them open at the same time, so they'll allow it to pump 35 megs a second through, which at the end of the day what it boils down to is more accuracy, faster response time, etc.
Yeah. Now, one thing that's not going to become a reality with Kinect is, what was it, over the weekend or the end of the week, we got the big thing about...
last Friday's show, yeah.
Yeah. The 3D sex game for Xbox 360 console using the Kinect for touchy-feely.
Touchy-feely, yes, you know. Spend the money on a Kinect game to, you know, touch a pixelated avatar of a boob.
Yes.
Well, Microsoft has apparently come out and said, and this is apparently a surprise to a lot of people, and I don't know why, but Microsoft has come out and said, you know what, they're not going to grant these guys a license to publish the game on Xbox 360 because it is AO, adults-only content, and the 360 doesn't and never has carried adult-only content. It's a game that came in console.
Holden Page, one of our writers, and I, we were talking about this on the weekend, and he was just like, this has been since day one. This has been Microsoft's policy. So why is everybody acting like this is just so hot and bothered and new and you know?
Because they're all geeks with no sex life who saw another opportunity to squeeze their bottle of lube and get a little bit of home time enjoyment down home with the handkerchiefs and the curtains closed and praying that mommy or their parents that they still live with wouldn't either sneak into the basement or and catch them at it or look through their bedroom doors. Basically, they're just annoyed because Microsoft is going to stop them getting their one-handed warrior jolly time on Xbox.
Bad Microsoft.
How dare you stop me spanking the monkey?
Yes.
No sex, please. We're Microsoft.
Yes. Okay, this one we got a file underneath the duh column. Android, iPhone lead Windows Phone 7 by 100 to 1 in ad impression. Yeah,
according to Chitika or Chitika or however you pronounce it, the ad network that powers ads on a hell of a lot of mobile devices, they're currently seeing 172 impressions from iPhones and 110 impressions from Android for every 1 impression on Windows Phone 7 devices. Now, there's a big part of me that says, what do you expect right now? Yeah. You know, there's millions and millions and millions and millions of Android and iPhone devices out there worldwide. What do you expect? These figures are apparently based on a 32 million ad impression sample between November 23rd and December 13th. And basically, you know, it goes from Windows Phone 7 having 0% of the market to about 1% of the market in terms of ad share. But you know what? It's not just about how many phones are out there that are driving ads. It's about how many applications. It's about how many games have the ads embedded. I played Angry Birds on my Android yesterday, and I must have racked up maybe, 100 ad impressions or more, because, every level you go into, you see an ad, right? So, but yet you don't have games like this yet on Windows Phone 7, so it doesn't really compare in terms of...
One of the things that strikes me is, and this is going a little bit of off topic, but one of the underlying currents of our web experience is being people's distaste for ads on websites. Okay, you hear everybody, we use ad blockers. We don't want to see ads on the web. This is blah blah blah, and yet you turn around on the app market for the smartphones, and nobody gives a crap.
It's because nobody can stop it on the smartphone market, to be honest. Unless you root your phone, unless you hack your phone, it's very difficult to block ads. So you're at the whim of the mobile provider.
Yeah, but where's the uproar? Okay, like when it comes to the normal web, every time you turn around, people are dissing the people who run ads on their websites or whatever.
Yes, how dare you make any money out of your work, you bastard, you.
But the moment you enter into the smartphone app thing, everything seems to be okay. It's all right for us to run ads and make money. What?
Well, you know what? I seriously consider, because I run a number of sites, and some of them are fairly popular, and I seriously considered just writing a script that if I detect that somebody is using ad blocker software on one of my sites, I'm just going to turf them off to like a goatsy picture or something. Because, they're coming to your site.
Yeah.
And especially if you're doing this as more than just a hobby, even if you are doing it as a hobby, you're taking, the bandwidth that you're paying for, the server resources that you're paying for, potentially away from other, users of your site, etc., and they're consuming your content, and the work.
Yeah.
Even if all you do is content aggregation, there's still work that goes into that aggregation, if it's human aggregated, and they're basically swiping from you. They're half-inching what you've done for nothing. They're freeloading bastards.
Yeah.
I will say this to this day. I have only once ever run an ad blocker. And I did run it, but the reason I ran it was because I had to have a side-by-side comparison in order to write a post and rant about this shit.
Keeping with the apps market, I guess Paramount is going to be jumping in full tilt on the Windows Phone 7 with
Yes.
Go with this one, because I'm not getting this.
Okay, it's basically Paramount, their digital entertainment side. The film people are coming out with a wave of 10 apps for Windows Phone 7 Marketplace, which are going to be, as far as I can tell, exclusive to the Windows Phone 7 Marketplace. So this isn't, you're not going to be able to get them elsewhere. The first one that is coming out is School of Rock, which is the Jack Black film. Now, the cool thing about these apps is that not only do you get to, find out information about the film, and you get to see special features and bonuses and all that sort of stuff that you're not going to get elsewhere, but you also get to watch the complete film. Now, I'm still not quite up there with watching entire movies on my mobile device, but some do, okay? Some people do, and some people like that, and I have done it once or twice, but, only when traveling. But for those people who do and who enjoy doing it, first one out is School of Rock, and we're going to see 10 other films, although I must say I'm not entirely too happy by the choice of titles either. We're going to see Zoolander with Ben Stiller, and that was kind of funny. Then we have G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra. Oh, please God, why? And of course, the documentary Waiting for Superman as well is going to come. These are all built on Silverlight. And it's just cool that there's something coming exclusively to the Microsoft App Store that we're not to the Windows Phone 7 App Store that we're not going to see elsewhere. So, for example, I won't be able to get it on this show.
Oh, you poor boy.
Or this show.
Oh, you poor boy. Last week there was or the week before, there was a big thing about how Google came up with this service for Microsoft Exchange users, that they could back up their Exchange mail service so that they would never, if something goes wrong, they would always have access to their email history.
Yeah, I always thought that when I read this, I thought this was a bit daft. I thought it was kind of spending money for something that's already there. Because if you're running Exchange 2010, you already have high availability backup built into 2010. And I also think that if you're in any way of a serious business, even medium or semi, I should say small to medium, and you have an Exchange server, then you already have some sort of a backup plan in place. And it's probably costing you a lot less than, $25 per user.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, this was just, but they definitely got a lot of press about it, a lot of publicity.
They got a lot of press about it, but what everybody seems to fail to have mentioned, and Mary Jo Foley pointed out on her All About Microsoft post, is that these services are only available, they're only offering these services for people running Exchange 2003 and 2007. Again, because 2010 has the high availability backup built in.
Yeah.
And it really raises, in my mind, not only the financial aspect, but again, wouldn't a company that is running Exchange 2003, 2007 and have had it around for a while and already have a backup plan?
It would seem like that
if to me. If they don't have a backup plan, why are they in business?
Yeah. Our last story of the day comes from Ed Bott. Apparently, Microsoft has quietly shut down the Office Genuine Advantage program.
Yeah, now, Genuine Advantage is part of Microsoft's anti-sort of piracy measures. It's similar to the Windows Advantage, where you have to sign in and verify the authenticity of your installation before, you can download extras and, updates that aren't major security updates that are optional and stuff. And Microsoft has apparently, without any announcement whatsoever, retired the Genuine Advantage update for Office. Now, normally you might have seen this if you were in Office and you tried to download, say, a template that you didn't previously have. Every now and then you'd have to pass the Office Genuine Advantage passing. And it's very simple. It's just a tiny little thing. It downloads, it runs, it sends off number back. There you are. You know, it's no biggie. But they've closed it down. Yeah. Is it big news? Not really. I'm sure somebody somewhere in there is going to say, oh, Microsoft has given up to the pirates or whatnot.
Probably.
But, with the advent of 64-bit systems, they're getting... I'm sure it's just being removed from there, and you're going to see Genuine Advantage or some other anti-piracy measure. Actually, they said it themselves. Given our strong commitment to anti-piracy, we're making several new investments that allow us to engage with customers in that respect. So you're going to see the detection of this probably more along the lines of Microsoft Security Essentials and places like that. That's where it's going to start happening.
Yeah,
and you'll still get your notifications if you're running a stolen copy of take advantage of one of those offers where you could get it for $10.
And on that note, folks, it's time to close out today's show. This has been Stephen, and that's been Paul, and I think you've got a few last words about what they can do if they want to talk to us. Yeah,
if you want to let us know, if you have any comments whatsoever on anything we've said on the show today or any other show, want to drop us a tip, drop us a line, or tell us, why you're not going to subscribe to the audio podcast, drop us a line at 251-272-9633. Anytime, 24 hours a day. You can even just send us a text message to that number. Don't feel like doing that? Then drop us a podcast. Drop us an email to podcast@winextra.com. I'm getting this all kinds of wrong today, and I give him such abuse for getting the start of the show wrong. And as always, if you want to keep up with us and see us and find out what we're doing, drop along to youtube.com/WinExtra, where you can subscribe and be kept up to date of new shows. WinExtra.tv if you just want to get a back episode fix, or drop along to WinExtra.com to keep up with the latest Microsoft news as it happens.
And on that note, folks, have a good day. Paul and I will see you tomorrow for another edition of Daily Brief,
where I promise I'll come up with a shorter way of explaining all of everything I just said.
Goodbye, everybody.